All right, we have a large majority of our presentation done. I'm going to hop down to slide 7. We're going to put in our very last slide. So insert a new slide in. At the end of the presentation, there are several things that you should always do. You should definitely ask questions, and you can either title this slide questions, or you can title this, what was I going to say, summary or contact information. At the end of a presentation, you should do all of those things. So at the end, I'll just put this in the notes. At the end of a presentation, you should always, I'll put it in all caps. Okay, one thing I said is ask for questions. So I've put questions as the title so that I will remember that. You should leave your audience with, leave audience with contact information. And you can determine what you want for your contact information. So for instance, I'm not going to have this as a bulleted list. I don't want it to be bulleted, so I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to say feel free to contact, oops, I'll do caps. No, yeah, to contact me. All right, and I'm going to provide them with my contact information. So I'll put my email address, my phone number, extension 1120, my work number. And then another great way that people contact others is over social media accounts. So for instance, on my Twitter account, if I wanted them to be contacting me, you could list an Instagram account if that's what you use, but any of those things could work out. Now remember, with this link, I don't want this to be a hyperlink. I don't feel it's necessary to be a hyperlink. If I was sharing this presentation with somebody, with my audience digitally, then I could leave it as a hyperlink, but I'm not going to. So I'm going to definitely edit this and make it not a hyperlink because I don't want it to look blue. Now you could also just change the color of it if you wanted to. There's another way to do that. So if you want to remove it, you can remove it. Otherwise, you can go to format your font and the style, character, heading right here. No, where is it? I'm looking for. This is not what I was looking for. Oh, probably because I don't have it selected. Let's select it. My fault. Format, font. Does it come up now? Oh, it's got to be up here. Theme colors. My fault. Theme colors. Theme colors. Right here. Hyperlink. It's blue. So if I wanted it to be red, I can make it red, but I want it to be black. And it still is a hyperlink now. It's just that it matches my theme. So again, that was under format, sorry, theme colors, okay? Because maybe you have different theme colors. Maybe you're not using black text. Entirely up to you. So you can leave it as a hyperlink if you want, but it should match up with your theme, or you can remove the hyperlink. So there's my contact information. So I'm going to ask questions. I'm going to leave them with contact information. You should always, always thank your audience, okay? So you have to have three sentences here, okay? And I think easily with this information that I wrote here, you can write in 3 sentences. It could be something like, I hope you enjoyed my presentation today. Any questions? There's a sentence. And then you could say, if you have any more questions, please contact me at any of the above information. There's a sentence. And then make sure that you thank your audience. When you're all done though, you want to leave your audience with something memorable. And there's lots of different ways to leave your audience with something memorable. And we'll talk about it because it will wrap up to our title slide as well. So we can tell a story that relates to our topic. So I could tell a story about dogs, or how a dog saved my life or saved somebody else's life. So you can tell a story that is relatable. You could use some humor. You could wrap up by telling a quick dog joke. Hey, why are dogs Benz's friend? I don't know. I don't know a dog joke right now, but you could use the internet to tell a dog joke. You could use startling fact. You list a fact or a statistic. You could look up, so right now there are this many hundreds of thousands of dogs in the pound or something like that. That's something that you could list off and tell them to go out and adopt one to make sure that there's one less dog in the pounds right now. So story, humor, fact or statistic. You could quote, like a famous quote. Dog's best friend, that's a famous quote. Say, I hope you realize too that, you can see that they are. Whatever it is that you want to use, okay? So you want to grab our attention, and again, you can tell us a story, you can use some humor, you can use a fact or statistic, you can even ask a question, asking questions, or involve your audience. So you might want to say, so how many of you do you think are going to go out and adopt or purchase a dog right now today? And you might see hands. Or you could say, stand up right now if you already own a dog, maybe something like that. Or maybe that's what I'm going to use at the beginning. But you could see that you have to leave your audience with something memorable. And then I'm going to copy that, Command C it, and I'm going to come all the way back up to slide number 1. Because the same thing applies at the very beginning. I'm going to write an exemption slide. Right? And remember the exemption slides, you only need 3 sentences, or, well, I don't even need 3 sentences on this one. This is an exemption slide. So again, on the title slide, Command V, I'm going to put that in there, you, instead of leaving your audience with something memorable, you have to grab their attention. Grab their attention. So again, use a story, humor, fact, quote, ask it, or involve your audience. So again, right here, you're going to do one of those things. And I don't care which one you do, but pick one and then type it into your notes. Are you going to sit up there and ask us a question? You're going to tell a story. And then don't do the same technique for at the end on slide 8. So when you're wrapping up, leave us something memorable and then do a different thing. So you might want to start with a joke, but in the end, wrap up with a fact or a statistic, something like that. Okay? So those are the 2 things that we need to add on to our title slide and our wrap-up slide, slide number 8. And then the last thing I need to show you is how to place a video into your presentation. So let me go and record one, and then I'll come back and then be able to show you how to add that in.